Hi, this is Dan from Bible Prophecy and Truth. We've talked about some of the prophecies of the Bible concerning the last days and what they might mean based on what we know for sure and what we see in the world. Daniel 7 goes together with Revelation 13, definitely, and Zechariah 6 seems to go together with Revelation 6, but we still can't be absolutely sure about who and what those are specifically painting a picture of until we see the final days upon us. Only then can we be certain. Understanding the prophecy from Daniel 2 doesn't rely on speculation, though, like the others. We can look at history and see all the way to the end of this prophecy, right up until the coming of the Lord. We know the final kingdom of the Antichrist will be the two parts of the final section of the statue, the iron and clay, together that he uses to create his power base. We also know that Satan is setting up the world for this with his interfaith deception. The dream of Nebuchadnezzar was a vision of the ruling bodies of the known world from his kingdom to the return of Christ. We can now look back and see what those were and what they are today. Remember, as we've discussed in previous videos, that this prophecy is not a parallel prophecy with Daniel 7. It merely ends at the same time as Daniel 7, but it is not a duplicate or parallel picture. The kings of Daniel 7 and Revelation 13 portray the nations that will exist at the time of the end, and the union created by the Antichrist. Daniel 2 shows us successive kingdoms, and only the last section is depicting the last days. Again, this is not speculation. The interpretation given by Daniel says specifically that these are successive kingdoms, and the rule of mankind will be destroyed when Christ returns. History shows us that the iron is a continuation of Rome through the Holy Roman Empire, and the clay is the Islamic Empire. Both of these still exist today in the European Union and the Arab League. The EU is just a new name for the Holy Roman Empire, and the Arab League is just another name for the Islamic Empire. You can see that they still control the same general areas that they have for almost 2,000 years. Now, the thing that I speculate on is which of these is going to be the ruling power when the Antichrist rises and unites them. We know that it's going to be the Roman Catholic Church and the Islamic nations that are going to make this alliance, which isn't really going to be an alliance. It's going to be a submission of Catholicism to Islam. Because remember, Islam doesn't believe in interfaithism. Interfaithism only goes one way. It's only believed by those that are deceived into thinking that Muslims also worship the same God that Christians do. Anyone who has read the Bible and understands the truth knows that this is a lie from Satan. Islam goes along with it only to deceive and conquer by infiltrating from within, as it always has. Look up Taqiyya if you don't know what I mean. I have a document about it here, BibleProphecyandTruth.com, User Controls Taqiyya. It is a doctrine in Islam that teaches that it's not only okay to lie, but that Muslims should lie and deceive to assist in the ascendancy of Islam. In Chapter 7 on my website, I go into great detail about the false mirrored prophecies Satan has set up in Islam and Catholicism, and who is the great whore of Revelation 17 and 18, as well as the ways we will be able to identify the Antichrist when he rises to power. On that page, prophecyandtruth.com, prophecy, present day, HTML, you can find a link at the top to a 4-part video series I did a few years ago that goes into all of that detail. If you're interested, check it out, or just go to the page and read it if you'd prefer to read. In this video, I'm just going to finish with a final thought on this last ruling power that God told us about. What we know for sure is that the final section of the statue, the iron mingled with clay, will be the religious element of the Antichrist unions. Daniel 7 and Revelation 13 show us his military and political power alliance, while Daniel 2 shows us the religious union that will solidify his power base and control of the people of the world. Everything we know about Catholicism and this interfaithism that the Vatican is pushing, and all that we know about Islam, proves that this will end up being a submission of Catholicism to Islam, not the other way around. So it's really not very speculative to say that the Antichrist will be a Muslim and his supporting false prophet will be the Pope. The clay of Daniel 2's prophecy will be the dominant part in the end time. Watch My Catholic Muslims Will Coexist video under the False Religions playlist on all my channels. The videos.prophecyandtruth.com homepage has this about halfway down the page. You can also find it on my False Religions page, prophecyandtruth.com, truth, false religion, HTML. God bless you in your search for truth.